Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another week of Ancient Warfare Answers. I'm Murray Down, the assistant editor of Ancient Warfare magazine, and this is Jasper, the editor of Ancient Warfare. This is our fourth, so we're thanking you for all your questions and looking forward to doing more of these. Now, this time round, I've got a question from Jona Lendering from Livius.org about a question about Tacitus's histories, which book 2, chapter 2, section 41. And if you're not intimately familiar with that paragraph, I'll admit I had to look it up too. I'll explain what it's all about. This is an episode from the Year of the Four Emperors. It occurs in April AD 69 at the start of the First Battle of Cremona. Tacitus says that the troops of Vitellius, under the command of Fabius Valens, are surprised by the advance of the Othonian soldiers, and, here comes the crucial part, Tacitus says they draw lots to decide the order of march. They let fate decide who ends up where on the field of battle. What's that all about? Surely a competent general wouldn't do that. Insert the well-known note by Caesar. But therefore, the question, if we're going to put it briefly, is why did the Roman army draw lots in AD 69? Jasper?
A good question. I had really a lot of fun with that. I bothered several people who know more about the Roman army than I do. There's quite a few of them, but I couldn't ask all of them. Apologies, Ross and Duncan and Kate, for bothering you this week. But yeah, the original question was whether this had something to do with avoidance of risk. Really, the questioner who'd posed it to Jona, who sent it to me, said, "Well, are they trying to avoid being in the front line and therefore avoid getting killed in battle?" That's sort of suggested by our expression of drawing the short straw. But the thing is that would run counter to Roman military attitude. It's not virtus to try and avoid the risk and then trying to avoid battle. So what is it then? What was it come from? Is this a comment on Vitellius? Because these are the troops of Vitellius, or maybe on his generals. And Jona pointed out that Tacitus has Vitellius receive the news of the revolt of his legions while he's at dinner. I mean, Tacitus is portraying Vitellius as a decadent glutton and allowing fate to decide the order of battle instead of taking a personal interest might fit that picture. And Duncan Campbell, who writes for the magazine a lot too, he added that elsewhere Tacitus actually calls Vitellius so ignorant about military matters that he had to ask advice about the order of march, which would be a nice parallel. The trouble is that at this time, in April AD 69, Vitellius isn't even near the battlefield because Caecina and Valens, his generals, had been sent ahead with troops. Then could it be a comment on one of these generals? Duncan again told me that neither Josephus nor Tacitus rate Caecina very highly, so it might reflect on him. But there's trouble there too, because Caecina is nearby, and he quickly rides to the battlefield, which is only about 15 minutes ride away from where he is. When he arrives, the lots have already been cast, so it's the troops of Fabius Valens who are doing this. And Kate Gilliver helped me out with this, and she pointed out that Polybius, book 6, chapter 40, and Josephus, book 3, 97, 97, both point out that the order of march was sometimes decided by lot because it gave everyone an equal chance to march at the head of the column and get to fresh water first, avoid walking through the dust and any droppings from any animals if you were at the back of the column. Of course, deciding the order of march decides where you get on the battlefield, and it also gives equal chance of ending up in the place of honor on the right of the line of battle. And she also pointed out that it is, we think, they're drawing lots, so it's sort of the general just basically throws up his hands and says, "I'll leave it to fate. It's completely random." But it isn't really, because if you draw lots before you actually depart, you are doing something to decide the order of battle. It's just, it happens to be random. It's not exactly the same as completely letting it up to fate, wherever people end up. It's just a way of deciding who marches first and who follows, and it could be seen as a vote of confidence in the quality of his troops. And that would make sense because these are detachments from the veteran Rhine legions who are about to fight the more varied troops that Otho has brought to the battlefield. And there's reason for them to be confident because not only are they veteran, they outnumber Otho's troops. And it's just in general, the whole picture of the battle shows that the Vitellian troops are better led, better prepared, and therefore the result is that they win in the end. So is it a weird thing to do to draw lots to decide the order of march instead of, when we think of Caesar, who famously says something about mixing the veteran and recruit legions in his order of battle so they can support each other? Is it, in contrast, is it weird to do that and just let fate decide? The fact that there are parallels suggests that it maybe was quite normal, and that it shows that Valens thought his troops would be quite capable of defeating whatever they came up against, and far from a sign of chaos or ignorance or negligence. It shows that the Vitellian troops thought they would have the upper hand against a mix of new and veteran legionaries and well-paid but inexperienced Praetorian guardsmen of Otho. The battle, of course, was pretty hard fought in the end anyway, but their confidence proved justified. So it's not really a comment on generalship. It's just one way to do it.
Well, it could also be, that healthy competition, that they are not competing to avoid risk, but competing to...
It's just, everybody's got an equal chance to get there. Everybody's got an equal chance to end up in a place of honor.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really matter. I mean, I guess they couldn't. The battle is very chaotic to begin with, and the battlefield apparently sort of is separated into sections by its geography.
Right.
So perhaps they couldn't really see who was going to go where anyway, and they just go into it. And see who comes out with the most honor.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that answers or gets closer to an answer. But there you go. There's another ancient.
That's what we can make of it.
Indeed. So look forward to getting more of your questions that we can try and answer in as
indeed
brief
something nice to chew on in the week.